Two men, two microphones, one movie, a couple of beers, and some wildly outlandish critiques about the movies you may or may not love. The following review will have massive spoilers and possibly offensive commentary. This content may not be suitable for little bitches. Brought to you by Goat Straw Entertainment and some liquid courage.
Hey, how's it going, movie lovers? Welcome back to another episode of Not Your Everyday Critics. I'm your host, George Lugo.
And I'm Manny Rivera. And today we're going to be doing quite a interesting movie. I haven't seen this movie in a while. It's actually, I don't think I've ever seen this movie. A couple of days ago was probably the first time I've ever seen this movie. And the movie that we're doing is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. This is a John Hughes film. I believe it came out in 1987. Starring Steve Martin and John Candy. There's a few other actors in this movie that you'll recognize. Well, you won't recognize them because you're not watching shit. You're watching this.
Yeah.
But I say we jump into some stuff since you kind of jumped the gun on a whole bunch of shit.
I did jump the gun on the whole bunch of shit, but it's okay.
That's cool. You guys know what we do here. We review and critique movies.
Same old.
Yeah, same old shit.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go over the synopsis first.
Let's do it.
All right. A Chicago advertising man must struggle to travel home from New York for Thanksgiving with the lovable oaf of a shower curtain ring salesman as his only companion.
Sweet. I love the fact that he's like a shower curtain ring salesman or whatever.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny.
It's so funny.
It is actually pretty funny.
The other guy's like in marketing, and then he sells shower curtain rings.
Yeah, the other guy's he's in marketing, and then he literally sells shower curtain rings.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. So this is traditionally a comedy. And we are going to go through the outline really quick. So we're going to do the intro, cast, writing, direction, soundtrack / score. This is a type of comedy. The joke, gag setup, low point, redemption, framework, performance, budget, and outro. There's a lot to cover here, so we're going to jump right into the shit. So we are going to start with our intro. So the first 15 minutes of the movie. It takes place in the office with Neal. So Neal, like we mentioned earlier, he is a marketing agent. So he like sells like ads or stuff for like magazines. And he's sitting in this office, and like the CEO or boss of this company is taking his time. He's like,
"This is so annoying." I was getting so frustrated looking at this.
And he's literally just.
It's like when
he looks around. Yeah, it's so
he's a complete douche.
He takes forever looking around for shit, and I think he still doesn't make a decision. I believe he still doesn't make a decision.
Yeah, no, he doesn't make one.
And then Neal's like really upset about that because he's about to miss his flight home back to Chicago.
Yeah, he has to catch a 6
o'clock flight to Chicago, and so he tells his buddy, "Oh, I forgot my gloves. Can you grab them?" He's like, "Yeah, cool. I'll grab them for you." And his buddy leans into the elevator. He's like, "You never make the 6."
Make it.
So he gets on the street. There's fucking everyone's waiting for a cab. There's traffic everywhere. It's the 80s in New York. It's a fucking nightmare. And he looks to the left and he sees a fucking cab, and its thing lights up saying that it's open. But then he looks across the street and there's another businessman there, which happens to be Kevin Bacon.
That surprised the hell out of me. I had no idea that he was going to do a cameo.
Pretty cool, right?
That was
pretty
so
cool.
funny.
Yeah. So they both see the cab light up, and they look at each other, and they do a shot where it's just their eyes.
Yeah.
And then they both run for it. They're just running through the crowd and shit. And Steve Martin's like jumping over like people, and then he sees a straight. He goes for the straight.
He has this real funny run when he has.
Well, he's holding two briefcases, right? Like he's holding shit. And he sees a straight, and he's like, "Oh, he's about to get to it," and he trips over a trunk. And he's like, you'll get to know this trunk throughout the entire movie. He gets really upset because like he lost Kevin Bacon's like jumps in the fucking truck or jumps in the fucking thing.
Gives him a smile.
Yeah. And then Steve Martin sees another man waving down a taxi. And he's like, hey, can I, appeal to your better nature? I need to make this flight to get home by 6. He's like, I don't have a good nature. And so Steve Martin offers him $50 for that cab. And he's like, anyone who pay 50 for a cab would surely pay 75.
Yeah, any man that would pay 50 for a cab would surely pay.
It's a fucking
75.
super dick move, dude.
That was a power move right there. Like he knew he had him by the nuts.
And as all this is happening, the cab driver's super pissed. He's waiting. And then you see a tap on the back. And then fucking the cab driver sees that, gets out. And you see the guy whose trunk that Steve Martin tripped over, they're putting in the back seat. And the guy gets in the cab and Martin hands the douchebag his $75. And then when he looks up, the cab's gone. So he paid $75 for no cab.
And the cab takes
off. The cab takes off. He's like, that's my cab. And he's chasing it down the street.
Doing that funny run.
Doing the funny run again. So he's just fucking chasing it and chasing it and chasing it. And then finally, red light hits, and then fucking he opens the door. He's like, hey, this is my cab. Get out. And then we see our first look at John Candy, which is
Earl? No.
No, it's Del.
Yeah, Del Griffith.
Yeah, Del Griffith. So it takes off, and he's like, fuck. And then they show it pans out, and then it goes to the airport. And so now he's at the airport, and he's on the plane, basically. He made the flight, but they move his seating arrangement.
Because he gets to the airport, but as he gets to the airport to his terminal, they delay his plane.
Yeah.
And when they delay his plane, he has to
downgrade him.
Yeah, they downgrade him. So now he has to sit waiting for the plane. So as he reading this article in the waiting area, like he looks up every now and again and sees the guy that's sitting across from him. And he's just noticing the eyes, and the guy across from him is sitting reading a book, like Canada something or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's just like trying to get an image. And as he puts his book down, it turns out to be Del, and that's when Neal realizes who it was that was sitting across from him. And then Del goes, do I know you? Like, I feel like I recognize you from somewhere.
Yeah, and then he figures out, he's like, you're the guy who tried to take my cab. He's like, that was my cab. You stole it. We're just going to try and go through this really quick because this is a kind of a long sequence.
Yeah.
So Del tells him, like, yeah, I thought I knew you. You're going to try to steal my cab. So the whole flight gets canceled due to the weather. So now they have no way of getting to Chicago other than wait. So Del tells him, he's like, hey, odds are we're not going to get a flight. We're going to be stuck here at the airport. He's like, you buy the cab, I'll go make sure you get a room for the night. And like Neal sees a guy sleeping on the floor, and he's like, yeah, okay, I'll go with you. So they go to get a cab, and it's a fucking what's the guy's fucking, I don't remember the guy's name.
I don't remember either.
But he has like a wild cab. The cab is like all crazy wild and shit. Yeah. It's like red.
Dobby or
I don't remember.
Dobby? Dobby taxi service.
But the cab is wild, dude.
Yeah.
It's like a hot rod. It's red and shit.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's pretty good. And that about there is the 15-minute mark.
Yeah,
that's about the 15-minute mark.
There's a lot in the first 15 minutes.
There's a lot that happens there.
That happens.
Yeah.
This movie starts off like right away from the beginning. It just takes off.
They got places to be. They ain't got time to fuck around. So
they don't. They really don't.
And neither do we. So let's jump into our next segment here, which is the cast.
Overall cast. I'm a big fan of Steve Martin. I love Steve Martin. Steve Martin playing Neal. I could just so see him being that person that, like, he's playing that character, but I could see him being that kind of person too. Like, he plays it very well. I feel like he plays that character in most movies too. And John Candy. John Candy.
Hey, you didn't let me say the cast or what?
Oh, sorry.
Fucking A, dude.
Go ahead.
All right. So we got Steve Martin as Neal Page.
Such a bitch.
John Candy as Del Griffith. Layla Robbins as Susan Page. Michael McKean is the state trooper. Kevin Bacon, the taxi racer. Dylan Baker as Owen. Carol Bruce as Joy. Olivia Burnett is Marty. Diana Douglas is Peg. Martin Ferrero, the second motel clerk. Larry Hankin is Doobie. It's Doobie. Doobie. That makes sense.
There you go.
Richard Hurd is Walt. Susan Kellerman is the waitress. Matthew Lawrence. You know Matthew Lawrence.
Yeah,
Little
I know
Neil.
Matthew.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're good buddies.
Yeah. Eddie McClurg is the car rental agent.
Edie.
I'm sorry. Edie McClurg.
This guy.
George Petrie is Martin. Gary Riley is the motel thief. Charles Tyner. Tyner. Gus. Susan Isaacs, Mary. And then Luli Newcomb is Owen's wife.
Yeah.
And let's do this one here. John Randolph Jones is the cab dispatcher. Nick Wyman is a New York lawyer. And I think we should be good there.
Yeah.
So let's do our cheers for everyone else, for the rest of the cast.
Yeah, everybody.
Okay. So overall, great casting. So I mean, we know this movie's great. It's fucking John Hughes. He writes, casts, directs, and he knows who to pick. He knows who to fucking throw into this shit.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
he's got it down.
He's got it down. He's got it
He's
fucking
definitely
down.
got it down.
So I feel like we don't need to spend a fuck ton here.
No, especially because he's not only the writer, he's also the director, and he's part of the people that produced the movie too.
Yeah.
You know, so he made sure that he was like really active with the whole damn movie. He did a lot for it. You know, so John Hughes, I appreciate it, really do, because you do a lot of amazing films, man. So
yeah. Let's move on to our next category here. We got writing.
Writing again, John Hughes, dude.
Yeah, this was written by John Hughes. I mean, there's not really much to say. It's tight. It's really tight.
He like I said, that's
there's
why
some parts that are a little bit slow, but I kind of like that in a movie like this because it's like a road trip movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so some of those slow parts they're kind of needed because there's so much chaos happening. You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chaotic shit happening in both their like adventures. So.
Yeah. I know one seems to be like a hard ass. The other one's just trying to be super friendly, and it's a weird hot and cold mix, but it fits perfectly well. I mean, the way they have it going,
Yeah.
They pretty much like complete each other, or they need each other to realize what's up. You know?
Yeah.
It worked out. I like it. I like the way it was written.
Yeah.
It was definitely good writing.
Also, really quick, because I know we kind of blasted through the beginning, really, because Numbnuts here. This is actually a Thanksgiving film. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
So, all right, let's jump into direction. Oh, what do you know? It's fucking
Who
John,
directed this?
It's fucking John Hughes.
Are you sure?
Jesus Christ. So, yeah.
In case you're wondering, all that shaking in the background, that's our good buddy David Raby.
He's coming. He'll be on.
Making a couple of drinks for us
momentarily. Hold up.
Yeah. Just give him some time. Give him some time.
Just wanted to explain the shaking.
I don't think they could hear it, to be honest.
Oh, I don't know. It was right in front of the mic.
His mic was off.
My mic was off.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Fucking rookie.
Whatever.
All right. So, needless to say, John Hughes, fucking legend. So, let's move on to our next category, the soundtrack and score.
I like that 80s soundtrack. I've always been a big fan of the 80s soundtrack.
Well,
you know?
yes. But I like this because this one is like, it's nice because like he picks like really fun, wacky parts or wacky type songs for very specific scenes. Like that's like the scene where the car was stuck in the snow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he hits reverse and it goes through the fucking motel room, and they're like, ooh. Uh-oh. And then the song comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the drinks come on.
Oh, there's the drinks.
David Raby,
Awesome.
everybody.
David Raby.
This is our man right here. He makes us. And what is this called, Dave?
Cinnamon maple whiskey sour.
Cinnamon maple whiskey sour.
What goes in a cinnamon maple whiskey sour?
Well, I rim the edge with cinnamon powder, then lemon juice, whiskey, and you actually used maple syrup instead of simple syrup.
Maple syrup instead of simple syrup.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm looking forward to having a taste of this right now.
I don't know if the cinnamon is overpowering for you guys, but let me know.
I think it should be fine.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, David.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers again. David, cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Oh, I like that.
That's not bad.
That still tastes a lot like a whiskey sour.
It does. But I get a little bit of the maple. And not a lot.
Not a lot.
Which actually I kind of like because like I feel like if it was too sweet, I wouldn't like it as much
Yeah.
Probably not.
because it's a bourbon drink.
Yeah.
It's a sour.
Yeah, whiskey sour.
I like it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. It's really good.
Thank you, sir.
Also, don't drink it all too fast because we're literally basically out of lime juice. This is all you have. This little 4-ounce container, and it requires 3 shots of it. So it's gone.
All
I mean, we could drink straight bourbon too. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that too. I'm good with that too.
But
Okay.
yeah, ladies and
The
gentlemen.
soundtrack. Go on.
Yeah, soundtrack.
Soundtrack.
Is there any other? Is there any particular like?
There's a couple of scenes where so like the running scene like we were just talking about with Steve Martin and Kevin Bacon after they look at each other, because when they look at each other the music goes like that tune-ish kind of thing, and then
Yeah, they have a bunch of that.
It's super fun to see them go through that kind of stuff.
They even have a funny like little soundtrack with Steve Martin, because while he's running, chasing the cab in the very beginning of the movie, he's like, "You're messing with the wrong guy," and then like they took that soundbite and they added it to certain parts of the soundtrack, and they play it throughout the whole movie. It's weird at first, but then like you keep hearing it and you're like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's just certain scenes where they make it so fun, and then towards the ending of the movie where Steve Martin starts to recollect all the good times with his family, and then he starts to laugh about.
We'll get to that. That's performance.
But
yeah,
I'm talking about the music.
The music there is good.
In there also, it's actually very sweet, like very calming, and it's
heartwarming.
Nice. Yeah,
heartwarming.
It's heartwarming.
That's the whole point. The whole point is it's supposed to be a heartwarming moment.
To me, the soundtrack, the score was it was amazing. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I love that kind of music. So
yeah, it's good stuff.
Movies,
it's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. So let's jump into our next category: types of comedy.
Types of comedy.
Okay.
Types of comedy.
Because I remember the last movie we reviewed that was a comedy, we decided to do types because there's like 30 different versions of comedy.
Yeah.
Which is fucking bonkers.
I actually enjoyed the whole comedy of the movie. I mean, I don't know what types of comedy they were, but I mean, you put Steve Martin and John Candy in a movie, it's obviously going to be freaking hilarious, you know? So, I mean, yeah, dude, it was, I was deeply enthused with the fact that he made me laugh every single time, Steve Martin, when he was angry. And he was always angry about something. But it was just so funny in the things that he was angry about, because he was like angry about nothing.
So this is really this was considered to be a comedy drama, which is what I think Uncle Buck should have been. But Uncle Buck was considered straight comedy.
Yeah.
These movies are they're incredibly similar. This movie actually came out before Uncle Buck, so he got to work. Okay. He got to work with John Candy previous, and then
he did
John Candy and Uncle Buck. But comedy drama, 100%. If you really think
Yeah,
about the
definitely
story,
comedy drama.
comedy
because
drama.
At the same time, it was funny. There was a lot of seriousness inside the movie. You know what I mean? Because on those parts that they were funny, I guess Steve Martin couldn't help but every once in a while insult John Candy on some of the.
Every once in a while, he's doing that like every 6 minutes.
Every once in a while, okay? He's appreciative a lot of the times, but every once in a while, he'll say something and that'll hurt John Candy's feelings. And, but he keeps coming back to help him, and that's the kind of person that he is he's just trying to be helpful. He's just trying to be helpful, and then, I don't know, it's a weird situation, but yeah. But it was super funny every single time, like nonstop talking, taking his shoes and socks off in the airport. Steve Martin's just, at one point, he's waving his sock down around and he hits him in the face.
I know. That's like it's just so funny.
It's crazy.
He's just like, oh, my dogs are barking. Oh. Then he takes off his sock. Oh.
Yeah, like every now and again, he'll do something that'll just.
But I mean, that's how the airport is, man. I mean, it used to be a little bit classier, like then. Cause I don't know if you noticed, almost everyone on the airplane was like dressed up.
Yeah,
everybody was. People used to dress up to fly, and now people they fucking dress down to fly.
Well, they dress to get in fights on planes to get kicked out, right?
Yeah.
Or terrorist attacks.
Have you seen that fucking? There was a girl. There was a girl that got onto a fucking airplane with only a bikini. A string bikini.
Nice.
They let her on the airplane.
What kind of plane is this?
I don't know what. I
don't know. What are we missing out on, right?
Exactly.
Shit.
I don't know. I don't know what airline, but I want to know now.
I want to know. Hey,
right?
Support that airline.
We gotta go. It's probably Florida.
Where was she? Where was she sitting?
Yeah. Get the dog sniffers in here.
I'm just saying, if that airline's open,
Yeah.
you bet you.
But I mean, that was the thing, though. Is like people used to dress up to fly.
Yeah, I noticed that people were smoking on the plane.
Yeah.
was the
Used to do
80s.
that too.
Yeah, they didn't stop smoking on the plane till about 2000s. I thought that was crazy.
Smoking on the plane, really?
Yeah, smoking on
I
the
thought it was
plane.
in the
Really?
90s.
Certain airlines will they'll say that you can't smoke on the plane, but there are other airlines that don't mind you to smoke on the plane. Now it's illegal.
Across
You
the
can't
board.
smoke on the plane
It's straight
anymore.
across the board because the air is circulated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I looked up, and that's what they did. It was about 2000. Yeah, until
Really,
they stopped doing that.
2000.
I thought it was
2000.
like late 80s.
I thought I was
early
gonna
90s.
say like mid 90s,
No,
maybe.
it was about 2000.
Like
when
I was just thinking maybe some
stopped that.
some airlines are holding out, and like no, it's a
Like,
part of
fuck
our
you.
tradition.
yeah.
Everything causes cancer. Fuck it.
All right, next you're not gonna let us slap women's asses.
There you go.
How you
You
gonna tell
know
me to
what I
fly a
mean?
plane? Come here, toots.
You see, that's the kind of stuff that needs to be in a fucking movie, man. David Raby, everybody. But
They have that stuff in movies, so
yeah, well they do, but they don't have David. That's what we need. But yeah, the comedy, comedy is great.
yeah, comedy
Comedy's
drama.
freaking
So
fantastic.
let's move on to our next category, which is the joke and then gag setup. So there is no shortage of jokes and gags in this fucking
No, there
in this
isn't.
movie.
There is not.
Let's hit the most. We're gonna start with the most iconic one. So the most iconic, I guess, like gag or like joke in this whole movie is when Steve Martin goes to the rental car, and they give him keys to his car,
Yeah.
and he gets to the space. They drop him off, and there's no fucking car there.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Hey, wait!" And he's like, chases the bus down. It's gone. Then he has to hike 3 miles back to the fucking airport in the snow, and he is pissed.
Yeah, he's fucking livid.
He is fucking livid. And then the rental car lady's on the phone, and she's like, "Oh," and she's like, "Oh, gobble gobble." Like she's all talking to her friend on the phone, and she tells him to wait because she's on the phone.
Yeah.
What a bitch.
And then she gets off the phone, and then she's like, "How can I help?" He's like, "You can start by wiping that fucking smile off your smug fucking face." He's like, "I want a fucking car." It's like, so This movie was actually supposed to have a PG-13 rating. This scene blew it up.
Well,
There's like I believe there was like 18 fucks.
Yeah.
It's only allowed to have one fuck in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah. So this one scene killed that rating.
Damn.
And they had to go. It went from 13 to R. But the whole reason Steve Martin wanted to do this movie was for this fucking scene. This is the most iconic scene in this movie.
Really?
Yes.
That's fucking funny, dude.
It's
Yeah,
fucking
right?
crazy.
He's like, I don't know. Let me put myself through fucking hell to just get in the character. All right, let's do it.
It's so fucking good. A fucking Ford, a fucking Buick, with fucking windshield wiper, fucking AC. Like, it's so fun. He's just sitting there yelling at her, and he's using fuck the whole time. And it's so crazy. He's like, I want a fucking car right fucking now. And it's also really funny to hear Steve Martin swear because he never swears in movies.
Right.
It's incredibly rare. This is like the one movie I know for sure he swears in, but like, I don't know, recall many where he swears a lot.
Actually, there's a couple of them where he kind of swears, but his stand-up, he actually does do a couple of them where he does swear.
That's fine. Stand-up's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about movies, though, you know?
Movies.
Yeah.
He doesn't have
many where he swears.
not that
So
many.
I think that's why he jumped at this. He was like, fuck yeah, want to do that. And I
Yeah.
get to yell at a woman? Sign me up.
And then at the end of it, she's like, well, do you have your receipt?
Your
He
rental
goes,
agreement.
Oh, your rental agreement? He goes, no.
I threw it away.
Threw it away. Oh. And he goes, what? And she goes, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Damn, nice aspect.
Dude, it's so good. That's the most iconic like joke for the whole movie. I mean, there's tons of other ones. I mean, but that is definitely the one when people think of planes, trains, and automobiles, that whole scene is the most iconic. Were there any other ones that you liked?
There's a couple of scenes that I like. Actually, one of the scenes that I liked also was the one after that when he goes up to that taxi freaking place where he's gonna ask for a cab to go to Chicago, and then
Oh yeah.
hey guys, do you know what does he say? Do you know where you are? He goes, what does he say? Why don't you just get your head out your ass and get me a cab? And then he just
No.
fucking.
No, he's like, do you think this is a joke? He's like, if I wanted to laugh, I'd follow you to the bathroom and watch you take a leak.
Oh, there you go. That's what it is. And then he fucking punches him in the
Yeah.
fucking face.
Fucking punches in the face. He falls onto the ground and fucking a car almost runs over his head.
Yeah.
And it's Dell.
And it's Dell.
Perfect.
And
He's
it
like,
just so happens to be Dell.
He's like, I got a car right away.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when Dell's, what are you doing on the floor? Like, I almost ran over you. I almost killed you and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then the taxi guy is like, get him out of here. He goes, just a minute. I'm trying to get my buddy up. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here now.
He goes, hey, instead of being a problem, why not just get the man up so I can take him to whatever?
Were you watching this movie?
Yes, I was.
Okay, because that's not what he says.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to remember, but you've seen this plenty of times. You probably have it like engraved.
He says,
in your
"What
brain.
is your problem, you insensitive
See,
asshole?"
engraved in your fucking brain. Okay. And he tells
him
to
he'll
get-
move the car. You pick up my friend.
That's when he
He's all,
Well,
my
stretches-
pleasure.
stretches his hand in his glove and grabs him by
the nuts.
balls or whatever.
And they play the same song again. Doon, 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 doon,
And then while
doon,
he's
doon,
in the
doon,
car
doon.
talking to him, Steve Martin's speaking back, and he's got this high voice.
He's got
as
the
he's
high pitched
speaking the
voice.
entire
I
time.
really wish you would have. Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty funny scene too.
There's a lot of fun gags. in
Yeah,
this
there
movie.
are
There's
a lot
of fun
gags
little jokes.
for sure.
You're gonna laugh from start to finish, but there are some very sensitive moments there where the drama does kick in, and we will get to that in performance. But now we're gonna get to our next category, low point. So this is where our protagonists hit rock bottom. So let's see here.
There's a couple of places.
There's a
where-
few, right?
There are a few.
There's a few.
But one of them that seems super fucking sad for me though was actually towards the end of the movie. where John Candy's sitting in the I don't know, the train station, it looks like, or whatever. And Steve Martin goes to John, and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
Oh, we're gonna get to that. That's actually, I think, that actually is redemption. Not.
That's a low point too.
I don't think low point. I think that's redemption.
Are you?
'Cause we're talking-
Because we're talking about
We're talking about
redemption for Steve, but this is a low point.
No. We're
for-
talking about low point for Neal,
yeah.
because Neal's our main character.
Neal is the main character for sure.
Dell is a supporting lead, so Neal is the one we need to focus on. So we need low point for Neal.
Low point for Neal.
Low point for Neal.
Oh, he's got a couple too.
He does have a couple.
Do you have one that comes to mind? Like
I do. And this one is going to trickle a little bit on performance, and we'll circle back to that. But it's when Neal is insulting Dell when they're in the first hotel room,
I knew you were gonna.
because this is a low point, right? So
yeah, that is a low point for sure.
So he is sitting there. He's like, "Oh, how can you put up with this? How can you fucking deal with this?" He's like, "Because I've met Dell Griffith," and he's just slamming Dell left and right, insulting him, beating him down, because Dell's a little bit hard to live with. He's got socks in the fucking sink, and the floor is a fucking mess. He used all the towels. Fucking Neal had to dry himself off with one of those little square hand towels. They ran out of hot water. Like, so Dell's a little bit inconsiderate. Granted, that's fine.
yeah,
But right when he does that, Neal's like, "You know what? That's okay. It's just, hurt me if you want to. I'm an easy target." And this is where Dell starts spilling out to him, hitting him with some like real emotion, and then you can see the regret
yeah,
instantly hit Neal. Like he was he fucking felt it. Like he fucked up.
yeah.
Like yeah, sure, Dell's not the easiest person to get along with, but he's a fucking human being, and he is traveling with him.
Guy has feelings.
He has feelings, and also he is rooming with him. He helped him out.
Yeah,
And so then, like, Neal takes his clothes off, and he was, gets back in the bed, and they go to sleep. So I think that's one of the low points. There are several, but I feel like that one was probably one of the biggest ones, because it also had one of the best performances attached to it. So
yeah,
we'll come back to that in performance with John Candy.
but yeah. That definitely was a low point. It was just too much for somebody to say to another person. And
It's rough, man. That's rough. That's really
it really
rough.
was rough. It really was rough. But I mean, the scene after that changes your mood definitely, just because it's super funny. Watch the movie, you'll see what I'm talking.
You'll
about.
see.
But yeah, that I can actually agree with it being that low point for sure.
Anything you'd like to add? You haven't seen maybe? You good?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't have a chance to see the movie.
Oh,
actually.
he didn't get a chance to see.
Well, I was
the
talking to
movie.
you,
Oh.
Manny. And
Yeah,
then-
like,
and
why'd
then-
you
You
look at
look
me?
like
And
you
then-
pointed to you. I was like,
No, I looked right at you.
I'm like, I
you
explained
look like
earlier.
you got like a cross-eye, bro.
No, he doesn't. I explained earlier, like, I couldn't find this movie on any streaming service except Apple TV. But Apple TV works as you have to pay for this service, and then there's certain movies on there that you have to pay for as well. I'm like, fuck you. So
They're like, hey, you got to pay twice, dick.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
But
So,
no, I don't have anything other to
all
say.
right. Well, let's move on to redemption.
Redemption.
And we're talking about redemption for Neal, our protagonist,
I got
not
you.
Dell.
Yeah.
Okay. Dell he's a main character,
He is a main character.
But-
I'm just saying.
but he's not who the story's about. He plays a huge role in the movie, but he's not the lead.
No,
Steve Martin's the lead.
he is.
Neal's the lead. John Candy's character Dell, he's a supporting lead.
Yeah.
So when we're going over these categories, we have to just do them for Neal.
I guess.
Okay. If you
But-
want, you can
because the same.
you can just note. You can just be like, hey, there's also this.
Yeah, no, but as far as redemption goes for Neal, it's almost the exact same scene, but it's him still on the train, thinking about his family, laughing, that he's getting so close to being able to see them for Thanksgiving. And then he starts to recollect all the times that he can look back at some of the things that happened with him and John and
So
laugh about it.
So it's like
And
it starts. He's thinking about his family. He sees his wife, his son, his kids. His daughter and his little baby, and then he thinks of like Dell when they're in the bed, and there's like that one scene where like they're like spooning, and then Dell kisses his ear, and he's like, he's just laughing.
Neal's holding his hand.
He's just laughing. And this is, I believe, they called this scene a vignette. I'm not sure. It's either a vignette or a montage. I believe it's a vignette.
You're too fancy.
I think it is a vignette.
I'm pretty sure it's a vignette.
Because montage,
montage is different. But then the next scene is like it's when he's talking to Dell. It's like a flashback, right? So he's talking to Dell in the second hotel, and
at the restaurant.
Yeah, no, at the hotel
restaurant. He's talking to Dell at the restaurant.
No. Hotel first, restaurant last. Hotel first. He's talking to him about his wife and stuff, and then you see Dell have this like kind of angry and yet also kind of sad, like stern face, and it's kind of lost on Neal at first, and then that's when he thinks back to the restaurant, and then that's when Dell says, "I haven't been home in years." And he's always talking about his wife.
Yeah.
So that's when he pieces it together that,
something's up.
Something's up. And
right.
then he's not going home. He hasn't been there in years, but he's always talking about how much he loves his wife,
Yeah.
So he goes back to the train station. He sees Dell sitting there. He's like, "What are you doing here?" And
he goes, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, he goes, "What do you mean?" Like, he's like, my wife's been dead for like 8 years. I don't have a home.
Yeah. Wife's been dead for 8 years. Yeah. And that's when Neal just like, oh, damn, through this entire time, didn't even know.
And then he's like, "You're coming home with me." Like he took him home.
Exactly.
Took him home. So
I
absolutely love that scene. Like I was rewatching it again this morning, and almost pulled some tears out of me. It was good. I love that scene. It's really good because like
almost pulled some tears.
Some good shit, man.
I need some bourbon right now.
Some good shit.
Yeah, that's definitely
the redemption.
The redemption for sure. I like that scene. It was probably my favorite scene.
Yeah. I feel as far as drama, probably my favorite scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably my favorite scene.
Definitely a bunch of comedy, but the drama part of it, this was by far, it hits you. It hits you good, too.
Yeah. All right, so let's, since we agree on that, let's move on to our next category.
Framework.
There are some very good shots in here.
There's some shots that I wouldn't think there would be good shots, but
yeah,
surprisingly enough,
there's some good shots in here.
They're pretty good. They were pretty good.
One of them is a weird one that I don't know why I like this shot. It's when they get into the first hotel room that they have to share.
Yeah.
And it's like the camera focus, it's like a POV shot from Neal's perspective, and he sees the bed, and then it pans quickly to Dell, and then he's like, but it like pans and says, it does it so smoothly that it seems like a fun, great shot. I don't know what it is about that shot. I really like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a really good shot. I actually like the camera work where Kevin Bacon and Steve Martin are running. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's a lot of good work there.
Yeah, there's a lot of good work there.
There's a lot of good work there.
It's freaking really good, too.
Yeah.
So
this is also the 80s, so they didn't have like
No, they didn't
have like a
the
lot
tracks
of
where they're able to like push the
tracks,
track and move the camera with and all that.
like gimbals and
No,
like
this is the
gimbals and
cameraman
like
that-
the and
yeah.
the shoulder harnesses weren't
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah,
You know,
that,
so, I
that
mean,
was actually one of my favorite.
but they did it really well. Yeah.
The train scene when the train's coming down from the field or whatever it is, but
Mhm.
it's blowing like black smoke.
Oh,
It just looks like
right
it-
bef- when
yeah.
when it breaks down.
Yeah, when it
Yeah.
breaks down, and then
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
has to jump off the
Off the fucking
off
train.
the train,
Everyone has to get
and
off.
they're walking through the
and
mud.
they're walking through the mud and snow.
I
It's
was
mud
like,
and
damn,
snow.
that's gotta suck so
Yeah.
bad, you know. And I was like, dude, that's
That blows.
that was actually a good scene. Like I
it's a
actually
good one.
enjoyed that framework right there. That was
yeah, that's a
actually
good
pretty
one. That's a really good one.
But yeah, there's plenty of other good camera angles in this movie for
Yeah,
sure.
there's a lot of
because
good framework. John
There's a
knows
lot
what
of
he's
things.
doing.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of things going on, so you're definitely gonna see something that's appealing to the eye, just because it's so fast,
Yeah.
you know, and it's done very well, you know. And I mean, it's freaking John Hughes. So.
It's John Hughes. I think we can move on to our next category.
And that's where we go to performance.
Performance. All right. You go ahead and take over Neal, and I'm gonna do Dell.
Okay. As far as Neal goes for what he starts out with and what he ends up being, you know, because is that good? Is that good? we have no lime juice. We're done.
But we have
David,
Bourbon.
can we get some bourbon?
Yeah, I'm thinking about just doing bourbon, like the maple syrup and I don't know, the cinnamon powder.
Dude,
Yeah.
bring it up. Whatever
Yeah.
you
I'm
want,
down.
man.
Well, you guys
We're
have
down to
drinks
try.
in your glasses, so finish it up.
I
don't
finished
have no
mine.
drinks. We finished, dude.
Man,
You
you
have
still
some.
have some.
You have some. Done, dude.
You're sober children in Africa.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was mostly ice water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
They're
gonna say
also
ice water.
thirsty.
That is, right? That's what I'm saying.
Inconsiderate.
This guy. But yeah, starting from where Steve Martin came out from when he was like that asshole. David Raven, everybody.
Thank you, thank
David. Woo!
Thank you, David.
That jerk snob freaking marketing person just trying to make money real quick and everything like that. And then understands, you know, the hardship of another individual and realizes how thankful that he has his family, he has his kid, he has his wife there, you know, just realizing the entirety of what somebody doesn't have and then what to be, you know, it's just freaking great. You know, he's angry about everything. He's so frustrated that he can't get to his family and then realizing that somebody doesn't have one. You know, the whole emotion, the roller coaster to see that whole thing come to play is just
Yeah.
it's great.
Of course, that's gonna be.
great.
Of course, that's gonna be the best.
Yeah.
Best performance.
So for
one.
me, as far as the performance goes for Neal, Steve Martin, he just nailed what he was supposed to do. He was great. I loved it.
Yeah. Performance for John Candy. He's always amazing. But the scene that sticks out the most, and I know I said we're gonna come back to it, is the scene when Neal's insulting him in the first hotel room. And then he tells Neal, it's like, you know, you want to hurt me? Go ahead. I'm an easy target. You know?
Yeah.
And then he has this incredible, like, little monologue here, and he tells him, he's all like, you know what? He's like, I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Because I'm the real deal. I'm the real article.
Yeah.
You know? So if you want to hurt me, go ahead. Like, he just tells him, like, he's, you know, if you want to insult him so you can feel better, go for it. But you can see the emotion on his face.
Facial expressions just
yeah.
fucking get you, don't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's what we call acting, folks. Really good.
And I understand it's acting, but it's just done so well. Like you can feel You can just feel.
Well, that's the whole point.
emotion
If you
behind
couldn't
It's
feel it,
freaking great.
If you couldn't feel it, why the hell are we watching any of this?
Well, there are a few actors that don't exactly do that kind of stuff.
A few. There's a lot.
But these two definitely are giving you what it's supposed to be, and it's freaking great.
Yeah. I think we're good with the performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are both. Yeah.
Both guys are freaking great.
All right. Let's move on to our next category. Budget.
Budget for this movie was $30 million, which is kind of a lot at that time. $30 million is kind of a lot at that time.
Bro, they did fucking $25 million for Over the Top. That's an arm wrestling movie.
Yeah. Still kind of a lot.
This is a comedy drama, which is going to see higher funds. I would assume that they would give them more. Higher turnover.
Just $5 million more. And you know what? They all took place. The scenes, and I forgot to bring this up too. I apologize. Some of these scenes weren't even in the same freaking city. They actually had to move from like different location to different location because they weren't allowed to film in certain areas.
Yeah, that's how that works.
You know, and
Yeah.
I didn't know that about the movie until like I started reading up about it and everything like that.
Yeah.
So they were only allowed to film in certain areas for a certain amount of time, and then they had to go somewhere else. And they just had to relocate like every single time.
That's how that works, man.
But
it's hard to.
it sucks.
It's you have to go through so
sucks.
much. You have to go through so much paperwork and so much hassle with the city to try and just to film places.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
It really is.
It's
really
a nightmare.
is. But,
That's why they don't shoot the movie in order because it's like none of it works that way.
Yeah.
You know? They have to shoot.
No, but
have to shoot
the
things out of
budget
order.
for the movie was $30 million. Do you know what it made box office?
Box office. I want to say
Take a
that
guess, man.
I want to say that it made 74 million.
Wow, damn, you overshot it by a ton.
How much make?
It only made $49.5 million.
Its entire run in the box office.
Its entire run of the box
Okay.
office, 49.5. So it wasn't like a huge success or anything.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't a like total flop. I mean,
Well,
it was a flop, but it wasn't a total flop.
Yeah, that's considered a flop. It didn't even double its money.
It didn't
So,
double its money. It made its money back just with a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's kind of sad that that's exactly what happened. You know, but I still hear about this movie from time to time from all sorts of people.
Yeah.
I mostly heard this movie from you. You know. But I have
this
heard
movie
other
is
people.
this movie's a fucking classic.
Yeah,
it's
is
a comedy
classic.
classic.
You know, it's
It's iconic
definitely
in
one
so many
for-
ways.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
one to see for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely one to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the budget, man. It just sad to say it just didn't do well.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's hit or miss, you know. I mean, at least they made their money back. At least they didn't
Yeah.
lose money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, that's a win.
Yeah, it's a win.
That's a win.
That's a win. So let's move on to the next category then. So our next category is the outro. Man, we're almost there.
Yeah, dude. Definitely.
All right. So last 15 minutes. So we get we're in the second hotel room, and it's towards the end. It's when Neal's talking to Del, and then Del gives him that look that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And then they end up going to sleep. They've been drinking, you know, they're having a fun night, you know, shooting the shit. They're reconnecting. They wake up in the morning and they're trying to leave, right? But their car is completely submerged in snow. There's snow fucking completely surrounding it, and the wheels just spinning. All right. And then John Candy's in the driver's seat, and Steve Martin's trying to rock it. He said, "You got to rock it." He's like, "I'm going to throw it in reverse." And he throws it in reverse, and it catches some traction.
That's crazy.
It completely destroys the fucking motel room they were in. And they're like, ooh. He's like,
Ooh.
oh, that's not good.
Neil's like, go.
He's like, I gotta go.
Let's go.
And then fucking Del puts it in drive, and that's when the music kicks in. Doon, 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 doon. And they drive off onto the highway. And this is funny because they're driving down the highway, and then you see a side shot of their car, and it's like completely destroyed from a previous fire that destroyed the car and the freeway. We didn't even cover that at all.
Like I said, there's quite a few
lot,
scenes. We can't cover the whole thing.
We can't cover the whole thing. You
just gotta watch the movie.
You gotta watch the fucking movie. And there's a fucking family, and they're looking at the car. They're like, "What the fuck?" The car is completely destroyed, burnt to a crisp. Panels are falling off.
And while this is happening, they're singing, right?
Yeah, they're singing the whole time, and nothing works on the car. The speedo, none of that shit, except the radio. The radio, is
the only thing that works is the radio. Yo, David
awesome.
Raby.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, buddy.
All right.
Yeah.
Got some, David? All right.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Boys.
Woo.
That's pretty damn good, sir.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good, sir.
Did you do something different?
No, I was able to use whatever was left of the lime juice.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
This one's like a little bit sweeter, but like not overly sweet.
It's still, yeah.
It's nice.
I think I just rimmed it a little better with the cinnamon.
It's really good.
Yeah, the consistency of the rim is really nice.
Thank you.
Like a good consistent rim, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, these guys.
All right. So they're on the fucking highway. I'm almost positive. I didn't look this up. I probably should have looked it up. But the person driving the other car, I swear to God, it was John Hughes. I saw it again when I was doing a recap and I was watching it. And I was like, that looks like fucking John Hughes. So
Really?
it looks like him. I don't know if it is him, so I don't want to. It looks like him.
I didn't pay that much attention to see if it was or wasn't, but
yeah.
damn,
So,
now I got to watch it again to make sure if it was.
I mean, I'm sorry. I should have looked that up before I came here and to record, but
damn, let down, bro. Now
I'm sorry.
Now
I'm
people got to
sorry.
watch this movie. Just see if it's him.
Bummer.
Whoa.
I threaten you guys with a good time.
Right? There you go.
And then what happens is they're fucking driving, and all of a sudden they see a radar gun, and then boop, 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 78 miles an hour. So they're going over the speed limit. And so the cop chases them down, and like, oh, God damn it. Like, tell how fast are you going? He's like, I don't know. The speedometer's melted.
That's so funny.
And then they pull over, and the cop's like, you guys know how fast you're going? He's like I was telling my friend a second ago, I have no idea. The speedometer's melted. It's like we had a fire and all this stuff's melted. He's like, but funny enough, the radio works.
The radio still works.
Yeah.
What the odds of that, right?
Yeah. So the cops all like, this vehicle seems unfit, like unsafe for travel.
Unsafe for travel.
He's like,
He's like, what do you mean?
He's like, what do you mean if it all works fine? He's like, I know. He's like, I'm gonna have to impound this thing. And then Dell's like, I'm sorry. I'll admit I messed up. I gotta get my friend home for his Thanksgiving dinner. Can you let us go? And then he looks at him, and then they cut to the next scene. They're impounding the car.
They're impounding the car.
Yeah. And so now Neal's out on the highway, and he's just kind of like trudging around the snow. And then
No. Because he was messing with his balls right there. I don't know if you recognize what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was messing.
He's messing with his nuts.
In one of the scenes, he was saying that he messes
with his balls a lot. Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah. Play with your balls
so
a
he
lot.
was messing with his balls. That was the scene of him messing with his balls.
And then he looks left, and this fucking red semi comes up. And it's like, burn, burn, burn. And he's like, huh. And it pulls up to him, and then Dell's sitting in the seat. And he's like, hey, got us a ride. And there's a little something here that I only recently learned about.
Uh-huh.
When Dell gets out of it, when you see Dell, he has a black eye.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly how he got the black eye.
Yeah.
But it's hinted that he got punched from the truck driver because the truck driver doesn't like anyone in his cab. It's a hint. I mean, I watched a couple videos on that, and that came up. And I was like, huh, that's interesting.
I noticed that he had a black eye, and I had no idea where the hell it came from. And I'm like, I don't remember the last scene of him having a black eye for any reason. Like,
there wasn't one.
Yeah,
there wasn't a scene where he got punched or anything. So
Yeah.
So yeah, they
That's
get a black
crazy.
guy, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well, can't ride up front." The cab driver's like anyone in there, or the driver's like anyone in his cab. He's like, "What are we gonna ride?" And the next scene is them sitting in the trailer. It's a refrigerated trailer too. They're hauling cheese.
It's Okie Dokies cheese. I actually remember that crap, dude.
That's funny. So they're hauling the trailer, and they're driving back, and then they finally get to Chicago. And when they get to Chicago, he drops them off. Where did he drop them off?
They were at the train station.
The train station.
Yeah.
He drops them at the train station, and then this is where they part ways.
Yeah, they have a little heart
They have
to
a little
heart.
heart to heart, and then they part ways here.
Yeah.
And then
Neal is actually just very thankful that Earl was able to stick with him and be able to
Del.
take him. Yes.
Yeah.
Del was able to take him to Chicago to get to his family, and at that time he's just thanking him and making sure that, that he's not unnoticed because of everything that he's done for him. You know what I mean?
yeah. So
At that time, as they're talking, Del goes, "Is this you?" As the train is coming down. Train's coming down. He goes, "Yeah, that's me." And he goes, "Well, what do you say? It's been fun or whatever. It's been interesting. Something
been
like
interesting."
that. And he was never gonna forget it and everything like that. And they had this moment where they're looking at each other, where they're saddened by the fact that they're gonna have to part ways. They never thought they were gonna be.
well, they
at least
knew
Neal. At
they
least
knew
Neal
they were
thought
they knew they were going to have to part ways.
They knew they were gonna have
but-
to part ways,
yeah.
but Neal. I never thought that Neal would be saddened at the fact that they were gonna have to part. I don't even think he thought he was gonna be saddened at the fact that he was gonna part ways
Definitely not.
with him. But they had this look like, I'm gonna miss you, man. Like, they became like really good friends.
Yeah, they became good friends.
They gave each other a hug, and after they gave each other a hug, Neal starts to make his way onto the train, and what does he say? "Don't be a stranger," or "Try to look me up," or something like that.
I think
as
so.
He's getting on
Yeah.
to the train.
Yeah.
So as he gets onto the train and train starts to move, he waves at Neal inside the train, and that's when the train takes off, and John Candy's character starts to move his stuff, I guess, to the terminal, right?
To the terminal, yeah.
To the terminal.
Yeah. And that's when Neal has his like little redemption scene where he starts looking back on the times they had, and then
David, this is
everything
good,
that
man.
everything that Del had said, and everything clicked, and he's like, "Oh." So he went back to Del, got him from the terminal. He's like, he's like, "My wife died like 8 years ago." He's like, "Oh shit." And so now he's like, "You're gonna come home with me then." And so now the next scene is them grabbing the trunk, and then they walk away, and then it shows them walking on each end with the trunk, walking down the street to Neal's house. And then Del's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna pop in for like a minute, okay, and then I'll be out of there. I'll be out of your hair."
He goes, "This is your house? Wow, you're so lucky."
Yeah. And so he opens the door, and his kids are there, and they got family over for Thanksgiving, and
Daddy.
Neal's just like, he's
introducing him
introducing
to his
him
whole
to everyone.
family. Like, that's his daughter, his son. This is his father-in-law. This is his actual father, and he just introduces to everybody. And at that point, his wife starts to make her way downstairs, and Neal sees his wife for the first time in a while. And it's a heartwarming scene because she seems very happy to see him. She was so emotional. She looked like she had so emotion to the fact that he made it in time, and it was just a slow get up from when he was crouching down to his daughters, and he makes his way to his wife. And as he goes up to his wife, the first thing he does was introduce his wife to Dell. You know, and Dell goes, "Pleasure to meet you, Mrs." Was it Patrick or something like that? I don't remember Neal's last name, but
Yeah.
either way. And she goes, "Well, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Dell Griffith." And they hug each other.
It's Page, by the way.
Page, there you go.
Yeah, Page.
And then Neal and his wife hug each other very passionately, like they've missed each other for so long, which is very heartwarming. And, Dell notices, very happy for him, but he kind of looks away out of respect. And as they, open up from the hugs, Neal kisses his wife because he's happy, and then he brings her down, and then that's when the scene goes into the credits.
Yeah, but they focus on Dell at the end.
Do they focus on Dell at the end?
Yep.
I thought that was the last scene. Okay, and then they focus on Dell, and then that's
And then they go into the credits, yeah.
But
Yeah, that's it.
that's the outro.
Yep, that's the outro.
I like that entire scene, like that entire freaking half of the movie, not half of the movie, but entire 15 minutes into the movie. It's such a heartwarming, like it feels you so much, and I appreciate it, and it was a great movie. I like the movie. It was funny, but it had a lot of heart to it.
Yeah, definitely did.
Yeah.
Definitely did.
So I definitely enjoyed it.
Great film.
Great film.
So I think we should move on to the rating then.
Let's go with the rating, and this is your baby. So
All right.
just because like I said, this is the first time I've seen this movie, but you've seen this movie quite a few times.
Yeah.
So I feel like you should be able to rate this movie. I have my own opinion, but I think you should go first.
Okay. I think I'm gonna rate this movie 4.5 Jim Carreys.
4.5 Jim Carreys. Yeah. Really? Okay.
There's a lot happening here in this movie. I understand I didn't even rate Uncle Buck this high, and Uncle Buck is actually a movie I like a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
that's why I'm like, really?
This movie I feel was written a little bit differently, and this is kind of like a movie for everybody.
Yes.
So, and it was written, and the jokes and everything, the story, the drama, everyone can connect a little bit easier to this film than they could to Uncle Buck.
Okay.
So that's the only reason I rated it a little bit higher.
Really? Oh, okay. All right. Now don't get mad at me. Okay. But as much as I enjoyed this movie, I'm gonna have to give this movie actually a 3.5.
Because it almost made you cry?
No. This movie was very fast paced, you know what I mean? And then I enjoyed the movie, but there was a lot missing. There was a lot of things missing. You
Like
know what I
what?
mean?
Like Dell's wife?
No. There was a few scenes where they were lacking. Like it would jump from scene to scene, but and it was really fast paced, which is fine. But I think you needed to slow it down just a little bit. The black eye, now that you bring it up, like I noticed him having a black eye, and I had no idea like where it came from. Like it was a great film. It was a really good film, but I don't know.
You're not really giving us any reason.
I think
okay.
It sounds like he's trying to cover, like, he wished there was a bit more continuity with the film.
I feel like there should have been a little bit more. Just a
Like
little
explanation
bit
for
more, or
certain
slow
things.
it down to explain what it is that's going on.
For
Because, like I
Manny,
said,
because
this
you
is a
need to
very
slow down
fast-paced
movies.
movie.
Okay.
It's a very fast-paced movie.
This
Like,
movie-
either slow it down to like
John Hughes
explain
wrote
more.
this movie based off of an experience that actually happened to him.
Holy shit, really?
Wow,
Yes.
that's crazy.
This
Was he Dell or?
Or was he
Who
Neal?
was
he was Neal.
Or was he Neal's
was
wife? Or what was he?
But it's not like it's like a based on true story. Like
Wait, isn't this how he met John Candy?
Just that
No,
scenario.
he was Dobby, the taxi driver, bro.
Just that scenario happened to him. He got stuck like in a layover and
Layover,
stuff.
yeah.
And then he had to like all this shit happened.
Like,
so he wrote a movie on it.
So I feel like there was a lot going on, and it just needed to slow down just a little bit. While the movie was fun and it did have a lot of heart, it's just I needed it to slow down just a tad.
Hearing this whole critique of this movie reminds me of that movie Due Date with Robert
kinda
Downey
like
Jr.
that, yeah.
and Zach
Yeah, it's
Galifianakis.
kind of like that.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it's just too fast paced.
It was just a little bit.
I don't even
too
think it's that
fast-paced.
fast paced.
Probably not for you.
Well, it's Manny.
but
You got to slow things down
it's,
for him.
I know.
You
I mean,
too.
you guys can hear him.
too.
You guys can hear him speak, right? He's like, and then this story happened here.
This fucking guy. Jesus Christ. I have two guys.
We'll
on
get
me
a
now.
we'll get a
God
different
damn it.
we'll get a different
something you're used
co-host, one that doesn't have Down syndrome.
Anyway, yeah, I feel like I like I said, I feel like
All
it
right.
was lacking a
That's
little bit.
fine.
It
That's
was a little
fine.
bit
You don't have to
fast-paced,
re-explain the thing over
I'm
again.
just saying.
There.
You guys are attacking me right now, so
You literally had the whole entire podcast to talk about what it was you didn't like about it, and you choose the very ending to go on about it.
Thank you for wasting our time.
And the people's time. The people are the viewers. God damn
Yeah.
it.
All right,
watch
so
the
look-
movie. Let me know what you think because, like I said,
Tell us if Manny's wrong or not.
Just say Manny's
leave a
wrong.
comment.
He's wrong.
I mean,
Tell me that I'm wrong.
do you guys
He's
care
wrong.
about
Tell me that I'm
continuity?
wrong.
Like if something
I'll
happens
watch the
in
movie
film,
again. I'll give it another shot. I'll see what's up. You
give
know?
Home another shot.
Yeah,
I'll give him another shot.
Let's do another shot. You got shot glasses? Shot. But
All right, so we're gonna have to make an agreement here then.
all together between what we did, I say a 4.
4
Jim Carrey's.
or Jim Carrey's people. All right, so is there anything else you would like to say about the movie before we wrap up?
Fucking hate you.
Good. As always, this has been fun. Thank you guys for watching Not Your Everyday Critics. If you would do us a huge favor, like, comment, subscribe. Commenting really helps the algorithm. So if you do that, that'd be great. Hit the notification bell, for when we post shit. Maybe they'll let you know. Maybe they won't. I don't know. It's YouTube. What? There's issues.
Clearly up to you, but please do so.
And if you guys want to submit a request for films, you can email us at nyec.gse@gmail.com. We have the next month. We have all December. We have everything planned out. After that, it's wide open. So if you guys feel free, throw us some fucking crazy movies.
Yeah.
We
Movies
love everything.
we haven't seen before,
Yeah.
movies we have seen before, anything you want us to critique on,
Yeah.
we will do it. Just let us know what you want us to do.
All right. Yeah.
All right. With that being said, everybody, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Be safe.
Be safe. Don't drink and drive. And till next time, cheers.
I'm not cheersing an empty glass, dude. We did this last
I have water,
time.
dude. I have water.
This guy's a fucking nutsack.
You guys drink too fast. I can only make so much.
I know. This guy's a goddamn nutsack.
All right.